What's up guys, Eric from Sonic. I'm here at ACC USA again with Shin Okamoto. We're gonna be installing the Apple CarPlay system for this 2015 Lexus RCF. As you can see over here, it's a plug-and-play install. It's also compatible with other Lexus vehicles from 2013 all the way to 2019. So let's not waste any time, get in the car and get started. Alright, now that we're in the car, we're gonna start off by removing these two side panels. First, we want to remove this piece on the front right here. Just place your finger under here and just pull, or you could place a panel removal tool under here and remove it as well, just like this. Okay, same for the other side. Okay, just like that. All right, and then once you have this exposed, you'll notice that there's two Phillips screws, 1 and 2. There's also going to be the same Phillips screws on the same side. We're going to remove it and then we'll be able to pull it out. All right, once those two screws are out, just grab a hold of this, just pull it towards you, just like that. Comes off like butter. We'll get to the other side a little bit later, but after you remove this, just on this side, you'll notice that there's an additional Phillips screw that needs to get removed. Okay, just by itself, right under the shift knob area. All right, and we removed it. And after we remove that, let's go ahead and work on the other side. Very same process. Two Phillips screws. It is easier if you get on the other side, but it's just, I did this so many times I kind of feel where the screws are. Okay, and then once again, just remove it like this. Now go ahead and push down on the shift boot and then turn shift knob counterclockwise, remove it. And then next, go ahead and put your finger in here. Let's move this shift lever down. After you press the shift lever lock, you unlock it. Raise the armrest, and now we're ready to remove this whole center piece. All right, there we go. And after we remove this, there's gonna be some connectors behind it. Let's remove all the connectors. Front one's gonna be for your seat warmers and your seat coolers. Middle one's gonna be for your driving controls, and then these are going to be for some other options. Let's go ahead and remove all these. Okay, and it's pressed on this tab and remove very easily. Next, grab a deep socket wrench with a 10mm socket. Use a magnetic one if you can. It's very helpful. And then just go ahead and just loosen 1, 2, 3, and 4 10mm bolts that's holding this radio. Okay, so that's out. Now we're gonna place a thick piece of blanket right in front of it and pull it out and rest it onto the blanket. Something like this. Grab a hold of it here and just pull it towards you. Just like that. And then we're just gonna leave it out like this. Okay. It's these brackets that scratches interior, so make sure to keep all areas that can be touched from these brackets with this thick blanket. All right, next we're gonna remove the top climate control right here. Let's go ahead, grab it like this and pull it towards you. Okay, just like that. And then there's a connector behind it. Just remove the connector. Okay, next we're gonna remove the top screen. Use a panel removal tool, something like this. And once you have it lifted, carefully remove the clips with an upward motion. All right, and then you'll notice that there's two 10mm bolts up there. Okay, 1, 2. Okay, once you have those out, grab some microfiber towels, place it over here, and then you could just pull the screen out. Okay, and we're just gonna rest it on here just so we could see these two connectors that we're gonna be working on. All right, next let's drop the glove compartment. To drop the glove compartment, we are first going to remove the bottom piece and then work our way up. Okay, so for this, all you have to do is use a panel removal tool, insert it between here, and then just slowly work all the clips out like this. There's a connector holding the light. I'm just gonna disconnect it, leave this light inside this hole and just pull this out. Okay, and after that we want to remove this side panel piece here. Work your way out like this. Move this. Okay, so we have two 10mm bolts here, and we also have one down here. I'm going to remove all those three 10mm bolts, and then we'll be able to remove this SRS airbag. Alright, so we got that out, and this should drop down. And then this part, we're just gonna let it hang down here because this connector here is a bit difficult to remove. Just make sure you don't scratch anything with these sharp edges, okay? And then next, let's remove this plastic piece right here. Remove this, and after that is removed, we are going to unscrew some Phillips screws. 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5. And then let's go ahead and remove this piece. Okay, just like that. And once you remove this, there's gonna be two connectors here. Let's go ahead and remove those two connectors. And then there's also going to be a plastic clip holding the wires together right here. Okay. All right, now that all these panels are off, now we're ready to grab our harness, make the connections, and we are going to route all the wires over here so that we can mount the interfaces nicely inside over here behind this glove compartment area. And after that, we'll be done. So let's go ahead and grab our harness. So the first connector we're gonna be working on is this big one over here. Just press the tab and push it up. If you have a hard time pushing the tab, just grab a little flathead screwdriver, or you can grab a panel removal tool and do this. And we also have our main harness that we are going to daisy chain onto. Okay, make sure it clips on securely. The other side will go into the vehicle side. Okay, just like that. And then you'll also notice that there's these CAN bus connectors. Because this is for an IS, for the IS, we're gonna use a GS configuration. So right here, just unplug this, the GS side, and then we're gonna daisy chain to itself. Okay, the other side will go like this. All right, and then next, we wanna route the power wire that's connected to the main harness. It looks like this. And we're gonna do so by going behind the radio. Okay, here we go. There's a connector coming out from the top. Okay, do not pull this other two cables because we're actually going to route it to the side. Just let it hang out. And the next two cables we want to route up are these GVIF cables. Like you see over here, you want to route the two blue side to the top, okay? This side, this one, we're gonna go through the right side of the monitor. Let's start from the top, maybe right. Go. And this one, we are gonna push it to behind the glove compartment like that. Just gonna let it hang there for now. Okay, that's the first cable. And then also the second cable. Yeah, there it is. All right. Okay, once we have those routed, let's go ahead and unplug the two factory connectors. And then we're gonna daisy chain it to our connectors. Okay. Female to the car side, and the male side to the monitor, just like that. And also the black cable as well. Black cable goes to our cable, and then our cable will go to the monitor. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and just push the monitor back in for now. Okay, so rest of the cables, I'm gonna route it from the other side. Okay, so all the wires from behind the radio, we're going to go ahead and route it through the back and all the way out here. So there's also this 3.5mm mic that we are going to route it to from behind the radio to behind the glove compartment. Okay, and then we're also going to be routing this main harness right here to the back towards the glove compartment. Make sure you don't tangle any wires on the way. just like that. And then we are going to connect the RCA cable from behind the radio. So the other connector that we're going to be working on is this one right here. Okay. Alright, once again, I'm going to route it to behind the radio. There's one more wire that I needed to route. This is coming, this wire right here. I always forget about it, it's so small. There we go. Okay, I think we routed all the wires that we needed to this area. And we're gonna place the radio back for now. Okay. Okay, another thing we need to do is connect these audio cables. You're only going to have these audio left and right, which is the only cable that you'll need. Okay, while we have those in place, let's go ahead and organize these wires. Use some Tesa tape and also some electric tape as well. Okay, and in addition, you'll find that there's some additional connectors here with some on this side. Go ahead and just ignore it. We will not be using it because we haven't activated these additional functions just because it's not related to the Apple CarPlay device. So it's gonna go ahead and just organize these wires a bit, electric tape it. Okay, you don't want to get tangled with anything else. Okay, so it's starting to look a little bit cleaner. And then we go ahead and do all the connections right now and then test the unit before going further. So we'll start off with our interface. So the input will go on the outside, the output will go on the inside like this. Okay, and we'll have the main connector here. We're gonna go ahead and set the dip switch. Go ahead and refer to your manual depending on your vehicle model. It is going to be different. And then we're just going to plug in this HDMI cable. And as a side note, this is the most fragile area of this whole kit. You break this part, it's gonna end up breaking the whole interface, so be very careful you don't bend this area. Okay, and this is the Apple CarPlay side. Plugs the HDMI. Power side is gonna go in here, like this. And then we'll connect the USB cable. And then we are going to connect the mic, which is gonna be on the USB side. And then the aux for sound is going to be on the HDMI side, just like that. Alright, so once everything's connected, let's turn on the vehicle and just make sure everything's working. Before we do that, we gotta grab our center controls, plug it on just so we can control it. Okay, give it a moment to load. And after everything has loaded, go ahead and long press the home button. That's a good sign that it's working right now with the system ready sign. Okay, when you first do it, it's gonna tell you to unlock your iPhone. Allow CarPlay with NV17 while phone is locked. Go ahead and allow it. And another thing you wanna do is go to your settings and then go to general and accessibility. And then call audio routing. Should always be at Bluetooth headset, okay? It's gonna be automatic default, change it to Bluetooth headset. Okay, another thing you need to do when you're installing, you'll go ahead and grab the Apple CarPlay device and then use a small pick to push on that button right next to that 3.5mm jack on the mic side, on the USB side. And once you do that, you'll get a settings menu like this. And if you look, you'll notice that the main volume is lower than everything else. So go ahead and just put it all the way to max, which is going to be 56. Alright, so everything else looks like it's working. And there's one additional step that you need to do for all the IS and the RCs. The harness that goes behind it, we didn't do it before, we gotta cut one wire. So let's go ahead and do that right now. So if you look at the factory harness over here, this pink wire right in the middle, we also mentioned this in the manual. So the wire that corresponds to this on our harness, you must cut it and go ahead and electric tape it on both sides. So when we connect this wire over here that we cut is also the same wire that corresponds to this pink wire in the middle. So let's go ahead and make sure you do that. Since that I confirm everything is working, let me go ahead and finish this area over here. So for this RCF, it's a little bit tight in this area because of a speaker, additional speaker that's there. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna mount this on the inside flap of this area. We're gonna just go all the way in, just tuck it inside. And the pressure between the carpet should hold it still and not make any movements. Let me just test fit it for now. Okay, so we tested the unit, it's working as it should. Let's go ahead and start putting all the panels back together to reverse order what we just did. And after that, we'll be done. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Alright guys, we finished installing it. We verified it's working. We put everything back to normal. All the panels are back in place. And we showed you that new mounting place, which was in the passenger side behind the carpet. That seems to be the best place for this RCF. So we completed that. Let me just do a really quick demonstration on this. So as you can see, I'm able to use this factory control for everything. The keypad is used to control the Apple CarPlay. I could swipe and I could click, and at the same time the menu button becomes Siri. Alright, there's Siri. Let me cancel it out. This back button here works as a back button in any app that you open. Home button, you long press it, you could go back to the native screen. You long press it again, it will take you to the Apple CarPlay screen. Phone call and apps and everything will work the same thing like a normal Apple CarPlay. And at the same time, when you make phone calls, so when you receive phone calls, you can use your steering wheel control here to pick up phone call, to hang up phone call. You can also use the volume control on this. Although you do not see the change on the screen, the volume does actually change. So here's the nearest gas station.
Start en route to Shell.
Okay, let's go ahead and get out of that.
View Avenue.
Okay, and then when you're using this, you do want to keep the car in the aux mode, AUX. That's where all the sound's coming through. And we just did a comparison sound quality between the factory Bluetooth and aux, and they seem to be very much similar, so you don't have to worry about any degradation on the audio quality. Okay, and then for the IS and the RC, you could change the climate controls and your screen won't go back and forth because all your controls are shown over here. Alright, I think I covered everything. If I missed anything, please ask questions below. And if you have any other questions, send us an email, info@bsonikusa.com, or you could ask questions on the comments below. I answer all of them personally. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, and see you guys next time.